Hey everyone, so if you don't know already, I own and run a design studio here in Singapore with 25 designers on our team, and we purely specialize in workplace design. So we design offices for large local companies as well as MNCs based out of Singapore as well as across the Asian region essentially. And I actually wanted to take this video opportunity to talk about whether or not the future of office is dead, like a lot of people are actually speculating about as a result of this pandemic. And more importantly, what I'm personally seeing firsthand, how organizations are actually pivoting in the way that they're actually dealing with their physical workplaces, and also how some companies are also starting to relook into their overall corporate real estate strategy for the REIT investors watching at the same time as well. So before I get started, thank you everyone for giving me a bit of time to check out this video. If you are not part of my small, humble community yet, do click on that small red subscribe button below so that you'll never miss an episode, and it's absolutely free. So 2020 has been shocking. The pandemic has hit humanity in so many different ways, and with everyone forced to actually work from home, it's actually got a lot of us wondering what's next for the workplace and the commercial real estate industry in general. So every other day there were stories and articles online and in the newspaper about the death of the office and how companies such as Facebook and Twitter and Shopify all publicly coming out and announcing permanent work from home futures, and that no more office spaces were actually needed in the future either. So I've got a lot of people panicking, and I have to admit there was a time there when our design studio was actually really quiet at the peak of the pandemic and the peak of the lockdown. It's really been the quietest time in the last kind of 12 years that I've been here in Singapore, even compared to the GFC back in 08 and 09. And there was kind of like a period of a couple months there where, I was personally quite anxious that there was a lot of projects that had yet to start, totally stopped. Clients are actually doing due diligence on future projects that were coming up, totally stopped. And it actually started feeling like a self-fulfilling prophecy with all the doomsday talk about the death of the workplace. But as I actually sit here today, after we've been through all that, and all that I'm actually seeing with all of our clients and other people's clients at the same time as well, the office is certainly not dead. And it's simply just evolving, and actually evolving for the better for all of us. So as we actually tread our way through this pandemic, we're actually seeing a new sort of paradigm in terms of organizational policies, adopting obviously a work from anywhere flexibility. And rather than get rid of the office altogether, actually put even more focus on it now as kind of like the key driver to actually strengthen culture and community for every organization. So we're exploring and already implementing a number of different workplace models and scenarios with our clients in Singapore with actual varying levels of work from home policies. Obviously some more aggressive than others, but I would say all with a newfound focus on employee wellness and happiness and creative interaction and culture, and actually going down this kind of path of exploring how the physical office will be actually able to support this better and actually enable these things to thrive in the future as well. So ultimately, offices are more than just a place to do business. They're really a meeting points for social and cultural exchanges for people like us, right? Humans. We're really social animals, and we really need that physical interaction and connection that our workplaces actually provide. So it's this kind of paradigm shift of organizations with a newfound focus that actually encourages most as workplace designers, that organizations are actually now realizing more than ever a workplace is not just about capacity and fitting bums on seats, but rather a critical tool to actually shape the future of a company and its people, and actually putting more value on what we do, design, right? So it's really got me really, really excited about what's next in terms of the next generation of workplaces and what it's actually going to bring in terms of our overall industry and how our industry is actually going to evolve to actually adapt to this change. So when the pandemic first hit and we went into lockdown, kind of like the knee-jerk reaction was to obviously reduce density and put up these cheesy plastic panels between people and put out bottles of hand sanitizer and basically call the workplace COVID safe. But companies have obviously now realized that these are not sustainable measures, and staff are not going to come back to the office just because of this. So what staff will come back to the office for is that sense of culture and connection and a sense of belonging to the organization, which obviously is missing hugely over the past few months when people are stuck at working from home. So critical for every organization is retaining talent. And after all, people are the most important asset for every company. Even for us, we've just had a couple of new staff join only last week, and everyone was working from home. So we can't get the staff to just come to the office and then absolutely no one's there. So we actually asked some of our team to actually come back to the office to meet and greet our new team members so that they can sort of start off on the right foot in terms of the whole company culture and who we are as a team. Overall, we're really seeing kind of three themes that are fairly consistent with what a lot of our clients are actually looking at now in terms of this new workplace paradigm. So the first one is culture and this idea of togetherness. So how to actually nurture and protect culture and actually use the workplace idea as this kind of community node or community gathering point to actually allow teams to come together and innovate through providing the right types and right mix of spaces specific to their employees and what they need to actually do what they need to do for the company. The second thing that we're actually seeing a lot is a focus on wellness. So by this, I actually don't mean COVID safe and having this check-in system when people come into the reception area. Here I mean actually supporting people's physical and psychological health and ensuring the office is actually the epitome of health and well-being. Almost like, how do I make myself feel better and feel healthy? I'll go to the office, which was never thought about before. So the third thing that we're actually seeing is a lot of focus on flexibility and adaptability of spaces and workplaces. So no doubt more and more work flexibility is here to stay, but companies are also prioritizing this kind of blended approach with the option for staff to actually come to these kind of shared spaces to foster this sense of teamwork and provide networking opportunities similar to what co-working spaces are doing. So this flexibility lets employees ultimately choose the right type of space to support the specific tasks that they need to complete with the right resources and technology. So previously there was a whole shift towards activity-based working where companies are looking to provide different types of settings to suit different types of activities happening in the office. But now this is almost expanding beyond the office to the home at the same time as well. And even some companies are looking at deploying company resources and company infrastructure to people's homes to actually facilitate more effective work for people working at home at the same time as well. And also how they can actually connect back with their employees within the office itself. So technology is playing a huge part in that drive as well. So the office isn't going away. It's simply evolving into hubs that a company and its people can actually call home for more open communication and creativity essentially. So I'm personally actually really excited to actually see how the commercial workplace landscape is going to change and how we are just one of the many companies at the forefront of actually starting to bring this change to life at the same time as well. So just a quick one to finish up. What does that mean for Singapore office REITs, for the REIT investors that watch some of my videos? So personally, obviously, as you guys know, I am invested in office REITs here in Singapore, and I still see it as a sound long-term investment because I am still seeing how important these spaces are to companies, and at no point are they ever just going to completely let go of their physical office. So there is still going to be a long-term healthy demand for office space in the future. But as an investor, I am bracing myself for a little bit more of short-term pessimism due to the fact that still a lot of companies are sitting and waiting to see what's going to happen with this pandemic, and also just kind of sitting and waiting and watching what other companies are doing at the same time as well before they make kind of a long-term decision about their own real estate strategies. So I still see a little bit of a sit on the sidelines, and as a result, a lot of companies actually may opt for shorter term leases. I hope that gives you a bit of insight into what I'm seeing happening in the whole office sector here in Singapore. I thought it was an interesting topic because it's a little bit merging what I do in terms of my work as well as in my personal investments, and just sharing with you guys a little bit more. If you'd like me to talk about anything else in terms of what I'm seeing as a workplace designer here in Singapore and how that's affecting REITs in any way, just let me know in the comments section. And remember to subscribe and hit that like button for me at the same time as well. So until next time, see you guys.